North Texas stores rated CBD products seized.
Ridiculous.
So, as you guys know, CBD stores have become very popular as of late. CBD does not get you high. Yeah. It's not an intoxicating drug whatsoever.
Close these stores down. They're coddle culture for people that need pain management.
Duncanville police say they removed hundreds of pounds of CBD products from 2 stores, along with more than 30 pounds of what they describe as marijuana, in what other store owners describe as a big misunderstanding. They say the goods seized are instead derived from hemp, another member of the cannabis family, that can look and smell like marijuana but does not produce a high. The Friday afternoon police, this is kind of like, going back into the 20s and shutting down a speakeasy that's only serving non-alcoholic beer or something. But the thing
is that people aren't taking CBD to get fucking high and get fucked up
like that. It's for pain management. It's for inflammation of joints. It's for that kind of shit.
CBD. Right? Coddling bitches daily.
Coddling them bitches on the daily.
That's what it's for, TJ.
The system done motherfucking failed me.
Got me all fucking salty about that last fucking story. I want to drag all my salt into this story.
Dude, and it happens in this state, too. Like, there's a bunch of places in Louisiana that sell CBD oil when it was legalized. And, like, the police will come in constantly and harass these shops.
Hey, you've got nothing. We got nothing better to do, and you got nothing illegal in here.
Pretty much.
Fucking cops.
You know what happens, Paul? They take the shit and they never give it back.
Amy,
because they tested it a lot.
Amy Wazwaz, cool last name, who owns the store with her husband, said police seized more than $50,000 worth of CBD products. They took everything that was remotely related to CBD, Wazwaz said, adding that she would have allowed the police to test anything in her stores if they'd simply asked. Well,
Guess
they're
what?
Not going to do that.
They ain't getting that shit back either.
Experts say CBD from hemp contains no THC or just trace amounts of THC, the substance that provides a high in marijuana. This isn't a drug dealer. These aren't drug dealers. This isn't a drug house, said the owner's attorney, Daniel Sullivan, standing next to his client at the store in Duncanville. But in a statement to NBC5 Investigates, Duncanville police said they had seized over 30 pounds of marijuana, along with hundreds of pounds of CBD oil in various forms, weapons, and other evidence pertinent to the case.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure you did, you fucking fascist pieces of shit. So yeah, that's that. So these CBD stores are popping up all across the country. So this could be an ill omen that, like Scotty said, I mean, we actually know some people in this community that are selling the CBD products, and they do get police harassment at this point. We also know the local head shops around here are harassed by police just for selling, paraphernalia and pipes and things. Oh, yeah. So, these cops are just pieces of fucking human shit, is what it boils down to.
The real ill omen, though, I mean, yeah, you're right. It's an ill omen for people who are in these kind of frontier businesses. But the real ill omen here is for a lot of these cops, because a lot of them are going to get laid off when weed is eventually nationally legalized.
Good.
And, it's absurd how much marijuana justifies a lot of police budgets. Yeah. So a lot of these same cops that are kicking down the fucking doors of CBD shops and confiscating completely legal
Which, by the way, does not
merchandise.
help you with your position at all.
Yeah, they're going to be on the bread line
You know what's
pretty
interesting,
soon.
though, too? We lived in Washington, and we knew a dude that fucking worked in one of those places, and he would tell me about going to and from the shop, and the police would actually still harass them quite a bit.
Him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They didn't go to the shop because obviously it's legal.
Even in a state where it's 100% legal, the police are still out
making
there
sure that
harassing
they don't
them.
have more than they're supposed to have. Make sure that just every possible angle.
It'll take a while, but eventually, this is going to be looked at like beer, and people will get harassed just as much as people that sell beer.
Something along those lines. A record 61% of Americans now want weed to be legalized across the U.S., with support rising in every age group.
Duh.
Thank you.
And here's Tesla CEO Elon Musk smoking a J
a
on Joe Rogan.
Kind of a bullshit hit.
Well, he's not a pot smoker.
Yeah, he's not a smoker at all.
Right. He took a hit for Joe Rogan, and everyone got pissed about it, even though he was drinking throughout the entire show, which is... but somehow that one hit of weed,
The fucking shit-eating grin on Joe Rogan's face has got Elon Musk to take that hit, too.
So a record 61% of Americans say weed should be legalized. The other 39% are fucking morons, by the way. Support has grown across all age groups, U.S. regions, and political affiliations. Growing support has seen all 2020 presidential candidates backing legalization efforts. A record 61% of Americans say pot should be legalized, according to the respected General Social Survey. The poll, which has tracked support for legal marijuana since 1973, found that approval reached an all-time high across all age groups, U.S. regions, and political affiliations in 2018. The numbers reflect how attitudes toward the drug are shifting across the nation. While the majority of Americans want the legalization of cannabis now, only 16% did in 1987 and 1990, the years with the joint lowest support.
Jesus, man, we've come a long way from if it's from 16%.
I mean, this is what I'm talking about. This is
So
what I was talking about earlier. The ill omen is for
16%.
the police that are justifying their budgets
absolutely.
with this fucking kind of stuff because the writing's on the wall here.
So let me see if I can find a breakdown. So on the political spectrum, they have a few breakdowns here of how this is going. More than 70% of young Americans say they want pot legal. 42% of over 65 people say they want it legal. So not a majority there yet. Survey takers in the Midwest are most in favor at 68%, while support was lowest in the South.
Boo.
More than half the respondents there still said marijuana should be legalized. So
You know what the funny thing about the
Yes.
South is?
everyone smokes weed here.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the great thing about the South. Like I when I first moved to the South, I thought, man, you know, I'm coming from this culture where like weed, because when I left California, it was on the verge of being fully legalized, and it had been medically legal for at least a decade, I think, or more. I'd been personally on, you know, legal medicinal weed in California for I think 8 or 9 years at the point that I left it.
Right.
And I thought, man, I'm going to go to a culture where it's like nobody likes weed and there's just a few potheads. It's so untrue. Like there's just as many fucking potheads in Louisiana as I ever ran into in California. Weed is just as prevalent here, so it just makes no sense. The same in Texas too.
So here's the political divide. 69% of Democrats say it should be legal. 66% of independents say it should be legal. Only 42% of Republicans say it should be legal, but support among them has been growing steadily over the years. In 2012, for instance, only a third of Republican voters wanted it legal. So it's gone from a third to a little under half, a little bit, smidgen under half.
And I mean, to extrapolate something else from my comments earlier, I mean, you know, the South is profoundly Republican.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And so for me to say that, you know, at least it feels like that there are just as many potheads, or at least, you know,
It's close.
close to the same amount of potheads here, means that there's a lot of Republicans out there smoking weed in the South.
A ton.
And I don't really get this
Let me
sentiment
tell you, it's
changing so slowly.
Paul, it's total hypocrisy. I've known so many people who are fucking Republicans or leaning conservative that fucking have no problem with weed, love smoking.
Yeah, and a lot of
weed.
them.
But they still go out and for like they're for the
Well,
enforcement.
some of them are.
it.
Some of them are.
Well, you got to remember too.
And there's also ones I met that do
Look,
do smoke weed that are still like it should be illegal. So I don't want my kids or other people doing it.
Yeah, you got to remember too. A lot of these people want to actually legislate their hypocrisy, where it's like very do as I say, not as I do.
Right. They're at
or they
home.
think that, you know, I can handle marijuana.
Right,
but,
because I'm responsible with it,
you know,
but it's all these other people
these
that aren't.
teenagers can't, or these black people can't, or these Mexicans can't, or whatever.
I
X group
can.
of people can't handle it. I can handle it.
For me,
'cause
it's just
I'm a
recreational.
rational adult. That's whatever. So that's basically the logic that
I
goes
love
into
it.
that hypocrisy.